Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dirty 20 Gaming's Sunday Night Game, Stars Without Number. Our virtual tabletop is Roll20. Our models are provided by Hero Forge. Our overlay is provided by OBS. Art assets have been provided by Pixabay, and our music is provided by bensound.com.
Shots fired. I repeat, shots have been fired, Captain.
Is Gerard already on the way?
Yes.
I guess.
Fantastic. Okay. Do we have any way to can we get to Gerard as a message or anything similar?
He will have he has his comm with him, but the drugs that slow down his system are going to prevent him from really responding to much of anything until he's arrived and they're starting to wear.
All right, we're going to have to wait till he actually gets there.
What? I don't know what I can do from here.
Well, Bite, I'm going to be honest. Not a lot. We're trying to keep things as undercover as possible, which means we can't really raise a lot of suspicion for what we're doing. We can only let Gerard know what's going on, and at the moment we have to hope for the best.
And can I mean, I technically can. I don't. Yes, I would be monitoring that, but at the same time, I don't know why I would be monitoring for that. I guess it would just be a question that I would have to ask them, like, what happened? Why were shots fired?
We picked that up over comms, that's the issue. Also, are we muted?
Are we?
My mic
I can't hear Micah. Okay.
My mic was muted. Okay, so I was asking Byte if we're monitoring anything in that we could use as an excuse that we're monitoring in the normal course of things that would pick up those shots. I know you did pick them up on audio, but is there anything that we would be temperature sensors, concussive sensors? Are we monitoring for any structural breaks in the ship? Wouldn't
that technically would
work.
Come across?
Okay, maybe we can ask the crew if they've sent over any if they have placed any concussive charges to begin breaking apart the derelict.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let them know
Byte
that
sends
we know
over the
what's
call.
going on there. Ish. We don't know anything.
But you still have the audio feed. You heard a couple of gunshots that opened up, and there's still audio that you can hear going on inside of the station. There was, I'm assuming you kind of have like an earpiece.
Yeah, I still have like headphone on. One headphone on, one headphone on.
You hear one of the scavengers' voices that's yelling at the others. It's like, what the hell are you doing? And in the background, there's like another noise that's kind of like a ching, 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 ching. And then it's like a metallic noise that's really sort of hard to place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it could be like springs grinding against each other. And you hear one of the other scavengers like, the damn thing startled me. And the first voice is like, it's a fucking slot machine. Move on. And you can pick up like breathing after that. You know, so we kind of like tense, everybody's a little bit on edge. Heavier breathing from those whose adrenaline is racing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't sound like they've found their target as yet. Okay. And now that they've identified the sounds of the slot machine, you can kind of make it out as like the kind of background noises it plays in order to attract customers, but it's the only sound like that. Like if there's more than one slot machine, which there always is, it's the only one playing any kind of noise.
Okay. He'll I'm imagining like he stood up when shots fired and then he sits back down. They shot at a slot machine.
So that still should give us enough of an excuse to ask about what was going on.
Okay.
What do you think, Captain? Should we hold off until... I mean, do we want them to know that we're listening to them?
We want to know that we can say that we're easily... The thing to do right now is to say that we are monitoring the ship to make sure that we can place our anchor in the correct place. And to make sure that there aren't any charges around where we'd be placing the anchor.
Okay. I guess. And yeah, now he's going to put in that hailing signal to the other ship.
Yeah. The other ship doesn't fly to it.
They're ignoring our hail.
All right.
Maybe we can just
Sorry?
send a message over rather than waiting for them to reply.
That's what I was about to do.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Captain.
No, you're doing the right thing.
I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize for good ideas.
Okay, so what I'd like now is 3 rolls. I want a fix roll from Maiko, a heal roll from Gerard, and a program roll from Bud.
Oh, right. We rolled dice in this game.
In that order. So if Maiko and Gerard get above an 8, that's going to give consecutively +2s to Bite's roll, and Bite's roll is going to be contested.
I would love to give you a roll, but I lost my dice for a second.
2d6, right?
How the ever-loving
Yes, 2d6.
hell.
I'm rolling 3d6, right? I think. Yes.
You roll 3d6 and take the highest
And
2.
take the highest 2. All right. It better be good
Please.
dice.
Everyone
you rolled
can roll-
snake eyes, Bite. That's how.
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
You did what?
I rolled 2 nat 1s.
Still have a 6.
It's still a 6.
It'll be an 8 with Gerard's roll.
Fix with intelligence?
Intelligence and fix.
10.
That makes Bites roll a 10.
And I got an 8. Their captain is the one running the sensors, and he is not a programmer. So you see the sweep, pass over, and you're able to have the quantum array tap switch scramble electronics timed perfectly to go off at the exact same time. But since it's just a brief pulse, he doesn't realize that that's what happened. Does that make sense? And just gets a scrambled signal back. And by the time he's ready to fire it again, the cargo container magnetizes to the side of the orbit. And enough time has elapsed that the drugs in Gerard's system are now wearing off.
Maiko's gonna go ahead and because I assume she's helping to monitor or something and isn't just like sitting around in engineering now that she's made the thing. So Maiko's gonna go ahead and kind of type a message up to Bite, like she's totally typing like "you got this" smiley face, and then also Gerard's awake or Doc's awake probably, and then after that, I believe in you, and like a million smiley faces. If there was an emoji in space before, there is now.
Michael has invented it.
Logos is like, what is on my system?
Deal with it.
I do not understand
just-
these hieroglyphics.
Okay. So, Gerard, you're coming to inside of the cargo container. You know, it's as you left it. The machine that's going to be drilling inside is operating automatically. It's also remarkably quiet for something that is literally, you know, basically drilling through the side of a ship. You'd kind of have expected to be like a keening banshee wail of like metal screaming, and instead it sounds like about as loud as a blender.
I'm not too mechanically inclined, but I can only assume it's using something to heat up the metal as it drills to reduce friction. That's just a guess. I'll let it do its work. And I'm going to reach out to Bite mentally.
Mhm.
I'm up and about. I'm not going to use comms. I don't want anything that they can trace.
Hey, Doc, just so you know, they have guns over there. Shots have already been fired.
Do we know why?
They got overexcited and shot a slot machine.
Right. Then I just have to make sure that they don't notice me and mistake me for a slot machine.
Just be careful.
So, one of the things that has been given to Gerard is a line shunt, which is basically like a remote connection that can be physically installed to a system that isn't otherwise wired. So like, so that you, as you know, a hacker can get into their system. Does that make sense? It's going to take, it takes a successful fixed rule to basically install it into a system, but, and it's got to, you know, have power and have a system running. But the fact that a slot machine turned on suggests that there is something like
All right. How long do I have before this drill has me on board?
that. About probably like 60 seconds.
All right. I'll have that ready a bit. But do I have to plug this thing into anything specific?
It has to be inside of the system. You can't attach it externally. You have to find basically any kind of computer terminal, anything connected to the network, and then you can install a line shunt into it. It can be a camera.
Right. All right. As soon as this thing is through, then I'll move aboard and.
I'm going to have one exert roll from you. You can use dexterity or constitution, your choice. As the entire system is gravityless, so you're effectively spacewalking.
All right. Well, I have the same modifier on either of those, so. There you go.
Your boots have, you know, like magnetic clamps in them. Does that make sense? It's just sort of getting used to the rhythm of engaging and disengaging them in time with your steps. But the drill that had been set up, it kind of like pulls back, and you can see that the portion of the bulkhead that it pulled off, it's magnetized to, and it kept it from, you know, like floating inwards.
Okay.
The inside of the ship, or the inside of the station, reminds you quite a bit of the like lavishness of the battleship that you first woke up on. Oh, you weren't on there. That's right. So you didn't actually see that. So, okay, so the interior of this station is it's a casino, or it was. So you've got gaming tables. You've got like wood panels on everything. You've got gold and precious metals, and there's it's like various inlays and stuff like that. The name of the place was BitCon, which is apparently an older reference. And there's all sorts of the normal, kind of, I don't want to use the word propaganda, but advertisement you see in casinos. There's a lot of images of what were probably the waiters and waitresses in very skimpy outfits, moving about the place. The place looks like it's been shut down for a couple of years. But it was definitely not cleared out in any kind of an efficient way. You can see chips like floating through the air. You can see the aftermaths of like the drinks are long frozen. Does that make sense? But the glasses and everything that held them weren't necessarily. Some of it is floating through as just shards of glass, but a lot more of it is, was fairly resistant to small bumps and whatnot, and so continues to float through the station as just debris.
More like it was abandoned in a hurry rather than with any.
Exactly. They're actually, this would actually be a fairly cherry scavenging site, or cherry scavenging site. There's also signs that the power is selectively on and applied in certain areas, or has been. You can see areas where frost that should have just stayed frost forever melted away and is now reforming again.
Okay. That's a good indicator, finding an active power source as well.
Yeah.
Where am I at when I come into this?
Okay, so you are coming in from the western side of this small area. There's the main bar. Most of the lights are off around the bar. Yeah, right over there. You should be able to make a token.
I did send one to you through the cast chat.
Yeah, and I added it to your character.
Oh, did you? Okay, then I should be able to do this. Ah, there we are. You'll need to shrink it though.
I'm sorry, I'm having a sneezing attack. So.
Oh no, Gesundheit.
Okay, so yeah, you are in the lower area. The tables look like they're kind of mostly built around at the very southernmost portion. There's some very large screens, probably for monitoring sporting events. And there's like most of the walls are kind of covered with areas that still show the remains of like bets and like the 15-to-1, that kind of stuff on whatever was last going on here. Everything is built around the central bar, which has plenty of screens surrounding the main tube of it. And the bar itself has fairly high stools and whatnot. The most of the doors that are leading out of here look as though they've been sealed shut, but you can see that the ones that are leading up to the north are opened, at least on the eastern side. So if you wanted to move up on the western side, you might be able to get those doors open, or you can try to look for a place around here that you could potentially install the shunt into. You're not seeing anybody moving in this area.
That was going to be my first question. Anything look like it might be a security camera?
All over this place.
Any of them look like it? Do any of them have indicators that camera's currently getting power?
Yes, there actually a few of them. They look like they are the cameras that are kind of the broadest views, not the ones that would be trying to like close in on a specific table, but generally take in more of the area. Definitely not all of the cameras are up though.
All right. I'm going to try to get a mental pattern of where those cameras are facing. I want to try to get where I'm not in the camera view, but I can get to the camera.
Okay. I will have you make an intelligence and stealth roll then for that.
For a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to require a fixed roll. It's basically just sort of like a matter of time and doing so quietly. But yeah, Bite will see when the line shunt goes active and can break into the system.
Bite, I've got it on. Tell me when you can see everything.
Should I do a program roll and see?
Yeah.
Okay. 14.
Okay. It's a relatively difficult system to crack. You actually had more difficulties with the battleship. Or you had less difficulties with the battleship. This has been designed by somebody who's both very familiar with architecture and probably a hacker themselves, as opposed to like a UI designer or like somebody that's trying to make the system easy to access and integral for everybody there. They designed it with security in mind first. And the moment you're into the system, it's not difficult to discern why. This is the network through which the resistance is communicating across the planet.
Fun. Great. Okay.
You have, well, and not just across the planet, but like throughout the system. You can see where they've got relays that are set up to like the moon base, one of the research stations, to multiple points on the planet. Like there is at least one station on every single continent.
Okay.
As well as back to the refueling station. And not only that, but this network appears to have most of the administrative access to those other systems. This is the control unit and probably the secondary reason that they're coming to the station. Does that make sense?
Yep. All right. If the connection is still open to Gerard. Okay, this is big. This is their central hub. This is how they're talking to each other. If the scavengers gets this rebellion's done.
Well, it also explains why they're so hot to get their hands on it.
Maybe I can just disrupt systems and get them to move it to another place. It might take me some time, but
Which way am I going in here?
There's another user logged in and active in the system as well.
okay.
I think I see the direction that the teams went.
I know Bite would know this. I don't. Where is he headed?
Let me pull away the fog of war real quick.
Mhm.
So okay, so Gerard is headed to the north, and from the camera view that you have going through the east side door is going to put him within feet of the scavenger team that it's moving through the camera view.
And, so where's the scavenger team? Like here? Why is that not working?
So I made it like a small purple circle. They're kind of like throughout this area. They're sticking together as a team instead of like branching out and like doing room by room searches. They're moving as a team until they've cleared this entire area. Does that make sense? And then looking in the nooks and crannies.
And so where's the rebellion if I can see it?
You can't see the person that's in the rebellion, but you can or you can I'm just going to say that they're the swan.
Mhm.
You can't see where they are, but the only area that has a blackout is at the very top, this area with like the kitchen in it. That's at the center of the restaurant.
Okay.
Now, from what you can see, it doesn't look like it's a matter of cameras being disabled that can be remotely turned on. It looks like there were just never cameras installed in there.
Yeah, which makes sense. Okay.
Throughout this gaming area, the slot machines, the whatnot, it looks as though there's a number of different items that have been plugged into the system that could be remotely activated. None of them have the capacity to do much in the way of like real damage,
Yeah.
but they can serve as distractions. You know, they're going to create sound, noise, light, and you can see that the other user is like actively monitoring cameras and their location in proximity to those things.
Like, how big is the kill team?
It's 6 in total.
How good are you at being quiet?
As good as I need to be.
All right. And at the same time, he's also relaying information to Booker and to Maiko. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. Pull the cameras up on screen. Give us a good view of them.
Okay. I know you can't hear Gerard, but
No,
I
I
can.
got it.
And he'll throw up the what he's seeing on the cameras, which is the view. I guess on Roll20. That's close. Like
Booker, I want you to make a trying to figure out what's a good roll for it. Actually, given your background, I'm just going to give it to you. You see where the red circle is on the map?
2 seconds. Yes, I do.
Okay. That is a pile of junk that has been pushed together in a way that you've seen done multiple times by guerrilla forces before when they're concealing an explosive. Given that everything else is sort of like free floating, the fact that much of the junk that is on that is not is very telling. And it stands out to your eye because you've, seen teams blown apart by that kind of thing.
Yeah. Relay the message to Gerard. Once he goes in, tell him to go through the west door. The east door is too dangerous and too close to the kill team. Once he gets to the gaming area, cross through the gaming area, away as much as you can from the private gaming booth in the northwest corner of that room. Unless he likes the idea of shrapnel in his face.
okay. Gerard, you need to go the other way. I'll lead you through this, but there's apparently an explosive up where you're headed.
We can use the explosive to our advantage to get rid of some of the kill team. The issue being more we're going to need to lead them over there.
Hold on, I've got a plan. I'm going to peek around this corner. Is this door actually open?
Yes.
Can I see the kill team?
You can see that the backs of them, they're currently not facing you. They're facing this gaming area. The gaming area itself is actually the walls that are on there are actually it's like set to be a little bit lower than everything else that is around it. So the walls are half walls, and the gaming area itself is going to be like 2 or 3 feet lower than the rest of the room.
All right. So peeking around that corner, I can see all 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, establishing telepathic contact with them.
And let me just double check real quick. Do you have to spend effort for each one of them?
That I don't know.
Because that might limit your ability to do that. So let me.
Yeah, if it does, then I can only contact 4 of them, but that should still be enough.
Yes.
All right. So set up the contact with 4 of them. And
Let me just verify that that's the case real quick before I.
okay.
Okay, so just the contact. You're now level 2, so you're aware of both their language centers as well as their surface cognition.
Mhm.
But they will all get mental saving throws real quick, so I'm going to do that for them as a group.
Okay.
It's their similar levels of experience and under similar. Yeah, that's. Oops, these two, we've done some with 2d6s. Yeah, that's not going to save them.
All right.
So you're getting surface thoughts from them. There's definitely like jumpiness. They're on edge, mostly because they're in, like a space station and it's unfamiliar territory. And most of them would much rather be hunting with their boots on the ground.
All right. One of the 4 that I have contact with, I'm going to transmit thought to them. Curiosity about that strange lump in that corner over there. Let's see if I can get them to move to the northwest.
Okay. I would like you to make a telepathy roll with your charisma as the bonus on it.
Alrighty. Nine.
Yeah, the one that you pick, he moves up and it immediately identifies who the leader is. He's like, Sarge, and he points, he's like, what's that? And by virtue of the fact that somebody else in his team brought it up, the sergeant looks closer and they make some hand motions that you don't have to be in their language centers to figure out that he's telling them to split up and one group is going north and the other group is going to west.
All right. The 4 that I have connected to, which directions are they going?
It's about a 50-50 split, actually. You've got
Ideal.
one trailing in both groups that you can't read.
Ideal. Perfect. All right. As they split to move, I'm going to give them a little bit of time to move forward before I move forward.
I'm going to have a stealth roll for every round that this is going on because they are a highly alert team actively searching for somebody that's very jumpy at the moment.
Yes, which leads me to what I was about to state. I'm going to suppress cognition on the 4 I'm in contact with, ignoring me altogether.
Okay. And that is going to give you a
a +4, a plus for each one that he's got contact with in his brain.
well, it's a mental saving throw.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
So
Yeah, if they fail it, they can't even acknowledge my presence. It just doesn't register in their brain.
Yep. Okay. So there's only 2 of them that can actually. So I'm going to, since they're working as a group and they're presuming that everybody else is watching each other's backs. I'm gonna say that they're gonna have a -2 on their notice rolls to identify you. So let's have that first stealth roll. This is just going to be dex and stealth because it's all about being motionless and moving at the right times and moving quietly. Right. So
being unobserved rather than hiding behind anything. What do you want as the modifier on that? Dexterity or
dexterity and stealth? Yep, that's it. That exert roll you made at the beginning was a general check of just how quiet you were. Okay, so
got
that's
a 4 on that.
Yep. Okay, so I will, since you guys are kind of seeing this happening in near real time because you're close enough to the station. Bite, I will give you a chance to quickly activate something so as to try to distract their attention when you see one of them that's kind of turning back in Gerard's direction as he's coming in.
Okay.
It's a matter of just awful timing. So
let's see. Intelligence program, right? I'm picking whatever I can to just like 8.
Just make one of the slot machines go zoom.
there's the slot machines. There's a dance floor over in the southwest that has like lights and music and whatnot rigged up to it.
What are like these?
Those are gaming tables. They're like sort of your classic Bond card tables, roulette.
Oh, okay.
No.
Baccarat.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know what that is.
They do have, like electronic counters and stuff like that. There's and there are holographic dealers that are still programmed into them that you could have suddenly appear as well.
Yeah, I'll go with one of these that are farther.
All right.
Like the card table person starts popping up and dealing decks. I don't know. I don't know enough about gambling.
Dealing decks?
Okay. Right as like Gerard is kind of closing in, one of them starts to turn around. This thing is at least sort of in the line of sight, but it's like right, and it'll cover the approach and draw the eye. You see like one of the dealers pop up and like kind of like ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. Now's the end. Like he barely has the sentence out when bullets start to riddle him. As two of the scavengers like open fire with assault weapons.
That was a little close.
Yeah, you're close enough that I'm assuming kind of like duck down behind the half wall.
Yeah.
And there are bullets that are kind of hitting the wall on the underside down in like the gaming area. It definitely has a very familiar feeling to it. Might not be a rebellion, but
yeah. I will wait for the sounds of the firing to stop. Give it a few moments. Mike, can you tell me when they're not looking my direction again?
Roll 1d6 for me real quick.
Oh, okay.
Not you, Gerard.
Okay.
6.
Okay. The captain makes a motion to have one of them go like check things out. And it's one of the ones that you're not connected with, Gerard. That's looks like they're moving into the gaming area and actively searching. I was like, 1 to 4, and it'll be one of the ones who can't see him.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
I'm
Bite?
waiting for Bite to relay back to me when they're not looking my direction.
Are
Yeah.
they? They shouldn't. They're not, right? Or no?
they that one is going in. It looks like they're going to be like moving and searching the game area, trying to figure out what like drew their attention in the first place. They're going over to the area with dealer first. You know what I'm saying? But Bite, the other person that's in the system, noticed you triggering something in the gaming area, and
Oh shit.
they're rapidly trying to like eject you, remove administrative privileges from inside of the computer network.
Let's go. You just hear Gerard just hears, sorry, I'm having a hacker fight, just give me a second.
I also heard you say let's go, so it's like,
Slap fight.
all right. So when you're ready for us to continue forward, my goal is to dart back out around and, if possible, get into here.
Yep. Well, I
I'm
assume
trying
that
to-
right now. Sorry, I assume right now you're actually up behind the half wall. Like,
Where's the half wall?
it's the little triangle here down at the bottom. Just a second. I was assuming there.
Oh.
And duck down.
That's further than I thought I got, so
Yeah.
I assumed I had ducked into the pressures. Okay.
No, they wouldn't be able to search. You're a lot closer, but that's because you got further. But that's a mixed
Okay.
blessing.
Yes, that is. In that particular case, then I need to time this right, but I need to go over this bar to use the bar as cover to keep moving forward.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, because with this half wall, but I can get further using that bar than I can that half wall. I'm going to be exposed either way if I don't time this right when I get right in that opening.
So I'm going to have you make another stealth roll while Bite is making the hacking roll, the programming roll.
All right, Bite, let's time this.
3, 2, 1. 9.
It's going down 8.
Bite, it might just be them being much more familiar with the system than you are, but you have been ejected from the system for the moment. These cameras, you've lost insight. You still have the ability to get back in. They don't know where your line shunt is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're an expert. You may re-roll something if you would like to.
Yeah.
I think once per scene.
Let's go again. Let's see. 11.
Okay. Then yeah, you see what they're doing. They got an 11 yourself, so you're tied. You're not able to like take any actions this round, but they're not either. It's a lot longer a fight than you're used to in any kind of hacking competition.
Poor Maiko and Booker are just gonna see a side of Bite they haven't seen before and see him get very competitive and be like, no one pushes me out of a system. Just watch.
Right, I need you to remain calm. Don't get over competitive.
They pushed me out of the system. No one pushes me out of a system.
Bite, are you
Oh.
okay?
Hey, don't let your ego control the situation. You control your ego.
Turns to Maiko. I got pushed out of the system.
I'm so sorry. Do you need snacks?
Gerard,
No.
The one who came down to search, they look back to the other groups, and at that moment you're able to go and dash across the bar, and you don't think anybody's noticed or seen you.
I'm taking a guess that no one's seen me because there's no gunfire. These guys are shooting at everything that spooks them.
They are trigger happy.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know how long before Bite regains camera visage, so I'm gonna have to go. But how well can I hear it? Can I hear them moving around at all?
Yeah, you can hear them. The vac suits provide a small penalty, but since they're operating at the same penalty, because they are also in vac suits, it kind of equals out. So I haven't been calling for any like modifiers on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. My main concern is getting an idea of where they're moving by sound, so I know when I can peek around to see if they're looking this direction, because it looks like to get where I need to go straight forward and then to this door here.
Yeah. So the issue is that you don't know if that door is locked or unlocked.
Yeah, that is also a problem, and I too much exposed area there if it's locked.
Now you'll be able to test it relatively quickly, but
All right, I'm gonna wait for Bite to get back in contact with me. I don't want to take the chance and get to that door and find it locked and then get myself dodging bullets.
okay. So we'll go into the next round of the confrontation with the other hacker.
Mm-hmm.
I expect that to be over now.
Maiko is totally tapping out a message like, kick their ass.
11.
Yeah, they got a 4. Well, a 6 with their modifiers, but all right. So you managed to you managed to kick them out of the system. Let's see. You have control of the cameras and whatnot, but you see that there are multiple lights that go on around some similar small bundles that are set up in the restaurant. It looks like there's some sort of like emergency kill switch that's been activated.
Yeah, Booker and Michael are just hearing shit.
We can't help with this, can we? I'm just looking at Maiko when I say this.
We can give good vibes. And snacks.
So we can't help with this, can we?
What you can do is allow Bite to split their attention a little bit more by having somebody be the focus on. I'm watching the crew move through the area. Then she can be focused, or then he can be focused on like trying to find out what's going on with the lights that are coming on.
Yeah, Booker can do that a bit. You just can't message Gerard.
No.
Oh no, never mind, Maiko.
Michael, no, I think at this point, Bite will just be like, excuse me, can one of you watch the cameras while I take care of this?
I got cameras.
All right, I've got some tea I'll make people when they get back.
Make sure that, Booker, you know military more than I do. I don't understand the team.
Oh, they're doing a basic pincer movement at the moment. It's nothing exciting.
But if you can just keep explaining to me what they're doing, maybe that can help. Maybe Gerald can hear you through me like a walkie-talkie or something.
I'm gonna go get the snacks. I think you're actually better at the cameras than I am, so I'm gonna go get some space Doritos.
Sounds good.
So, what is your order of operations? Bite, what's your first priority? Is it opening the door? Is it investigating the lights?
Stop the kill switch first and foremost, so that I can protect Gerard.
Okay. The kill switch, as you're kind of like, why can't I find an access to it? You're looking through the system, and you, when you look back at the cameras, you can see a shadow moving. Looks like they're hiding under the hat, like the walls under the tables. You realize that like you're picking it up because you're seeing the lights and stuff like that. You're not seeing anything within the system. Somebody is manually turning them on.
Whoever this is much more stupid than I thought.
Talk to me, Bite.
They're turning on the lights. They're
Why?
drawing them to the kitchen.
They're drawing them to the kitchen?
That's the only thing I can think of. I'm not a strategist. It's not my thing. Booker. What?
So they're turning on the lights is what they're doing.
Yes.
They're turning on lights, but Byte can tell that there's like a sophistication to the lights are indicative of something. They're connected to other things that isn't connected to the main network. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Which is likely the case when you have like short range, like things that could be wired to explosives or to other distractions.
Yeah.
It's in,
That is being relayed as
And it's
concisely
relaying,
as possible.
yeah, as precisely as possible by as well to Jura.
that indicates those doors might be triggered to go boom when they're opened.
Yep. But I don't see another way in.
All right.
Have you tried messaging Swan?
And Byte's just gonna put a message into the basically trying to figure out a way how to appear on a screen in a kitchen.
Yeah, there's multiple screens that you can see on the outside that are like to track orders and stuff like that, or to put up, menus of the day and that kind of thing. It looks like the last meal that was being served was lobster thermidor.
So it's just a message then on one of the screens of please stop what you're doing. We're friends. Or we're here to help.
So you have a brief view on the camera of a woman, like she stands up enough that you can like see her face. She's either in her like early 30s or she had an exceptional, skincare regimen. Extremely attractive. And but also with the sort of like she looks like she has converted over to something of a more commando lifestyle, but that it's like a relatively recent transition. Does that make sense? She's got a vac suit. She's got a lot of stuff that's sort of like tight in place on it and stuff like that. You can see she's got her like data slab. She's got a pistol, but there's still, like the vac suit that she's wearing still looks like it was designer, but it's also several years old. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's definitely custom fitted, like bordering on pre-tech levels of quality. And for a moment, she kind of reads the screen. And then she pulls out the data slab and there's a request for access into the network.
Limited request. Limited access granted. Just enough that she can talk to me.
Okay, but not so that she can activate anything else.
Nope.
Okay.
I took your toys away and I'm keeping them away.
Are you actually saying that to her?
No. Not yet.
I heard that bite.
I'm not saying it yet.
He's in your
You
head.
thought it.
We're gonna have to talk about this.
The moment they're in the system, the question that comes up is, who are you?
Call me Bite. I'm from the Proxima Icarus.
Icarus.
Icarus. Did I get that
Proxima
right?
Icarus. Yeah.
Okay, Proxima Icarus.
Good for
All
you,
right.
buddy. Here's some
Switching
snacks.
back to Gerard real quick. Are you making any attempt to move?
Not yet. I still don't know if those doors are locked, and now that I suspect that they may be rigged, it's time to test theory. One of the one of the ones I'm in contact with, I'm going to suggest to him that the west door uh, looks unlocked and see if he moves towards it.
Make another charisma and telepathy roll.
Ten.
Okay. Um, the yeah, they break off and they start moving towards it. There's a sort of immediate hiss from the sergeant. It's like, where are you going? It's like, it looks unlocked. It's like, we move as a team. And the first one, kind of like pauses, but like it's a like waiting for them to catch up. The sergeant looks annoyed, but in the moment elects, rather than trying to, pummel him about rank, to start to move with him towards the door.
All the much better. If they move as a group to the door and it's rigged, there'll be more of them there.
There's 3 of them, and they're moving very close to like the red circle. That you have, a button to activate. By
Okay. So I can set this off if I wanted to.
you could. You don't know the range of the explosive, and they are moving fast enough that you're going to have kind of the decision now to like activate it when they're the closest, or if you want to, query the swan, then they'll probably have moved outside of the optimal range by the time you're done.
I'm gonna ask Gerard, are you safe?
Yes.
I'm gonna detonate it. Okay. Do you want me to program roll?
No, it's not required.
Okay.
And I'm so glad you swung at that pitch.
It was either I protect Gerard or I protect the swan.
Okay. You were not expecting the power of the explosive that was built into it. It's not just designed to like take out a nearby team. It was designed to have enough power to compromise the integrity of the hull in that area. So it blows outwards. You can see from the outside where part of the ceiling blows like through the bulkhead. Gerard, the wooden bar that's in front of you probably saved your life, but it also crushed against you, smashed you against the wall behind it, and let most of the shockwave like roll over you.
That's what I was counting on.
The other 3 that were like behind the half wall, one of them managed to duck. The other 2, you can see them from the legs downwards, but there's no sign of where the torso is on either of them. And the one that managed to duck behind the half wall, you don't really have like a clear sight of him anymore. Like half the cameras in that area have like gone offline, so you don't have a clear sight of it. And immediately, there's like red lights flickering all over in the area. All of the tokens and coins and floating drinks and cards are whipping out through the breach in the bulkhead.
Still pressurized. Is the one that ducked behind the half wall one of the ones I had contact with?
Roll 1d3.
Three.
Nope.
It figures.
Oh God, what? So, wait, what? Is Gerard okay? Like, did he have like that experience come through the contact?
Yeah, you took 9 hit points of damage out of your 12.
Gerard is not okay. I'm thinking.
So Gerard is definitely hurt. He's still up. The vaccine does not appear to be compromised as yet.
Okay.
But you definitely felt that through the telepathic contact too.
Yeah.
Okay. And at least in my head, Bite has started to yell, "Gerard, are you okay?" Like openly.
I'm good. I'm good. Could have done without the backlash, but I'm good.
I'm sorry. I didn't
Nope.
know.
Nope. You did what you needed to do. Now it looks like they accidentally sent something off. There's one of them still active down here, but I don't have contact with it. So I'm going to just lay here for a moment and see what they do.
Now that other ship is hailing you back.
If Bite becomes aware at all of like around him, he's got like Michael around like one arm, like hugging.
Bite, I suggest the captain try to hail the other ship and ask what the hell's going on.
I was about to.
Okay.
Sorry. That's literally what my thought process was.
No, Bite's going to look to Booker with almost like this ghost like look on his face and go, "You need to hail the other ship."
They're already hailing us. Put them on.
Yeah.
On.
You see the veteran there, like, what
The hell was going on there?
Like, he says, I just lost my contact with my entire goddamn team.
You had a team there?
I told you we were scavenging.
No, I told you to pull your team off.
Like, goddamn motherfucker.
Look, your team, something's happened to your team. I will double check on them. You stay there. I will go onto a shuttle and make sure everything's okay.
The hell you will. You stay in your lane.
Would you rather risk yourself? I'm offering you a service.
He says, you have another team. He says, I don't know you and I don't trust you. He says, I don't know what the hell. He says, your damn anchor did. He says, but it clearly set something off. He says,
our anchor's over on the opposite end of the ship. If anything happened, that was clearly your team's doing, not mine.
He says, why would my team set up? He says, why would my team blow the whole place open while they were inside?
I don't know. I'm not your team.
They shouldn't have even been there in the first place. It's not
and
safe.
We said that. We said to take your team off the ship because it wasn't going to be safe while we were towing.
He says, you stay the hell where you are. He says, I see so much as a blink from inside of that place. He says, you won't have to tow a thing. He says, because I'm turning it into scrap. He says, and selling off the metal.
Is scrap. What the hell are you talking?
He closes out.
What kind of weapons do we have comparatively? Maiko is typing to Logos.
You're actually fairly similarly armed. They're a transport ship, so primarily what they're going to rely upon is the ability to board another ship. However, they do have, a gun to deal with threats at range. You have effectively 2 ships, both of which are armed, but you would need separate pilots in each of them during a space combat.
Yeah.
So Maiko's gonna relay that to Booker while Bite is doing his thing. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, don't be. Bite is going to look at both Maiko and Booker and say that wasn't the ship.
No, I know it wasn't the ship, and I'm very aware of who it was. Don't worry, you're not in any danger. You're not in any way at fault.
Okay.
Things like this happen.
What's my friend down here doing?
They we're definitely not anticipating the shockwave, and it looks like they've been thrown against something, and you can't tell if they're just lying very still because they don't feel good, or if they're unconscious, or
Because they don't
I'm-
feel good.
I mean,
Nope.
they were a room away, like and a large amount of like bulkhead and things to absorb it, but it still shook the entire ruin. So
Right? Can you open either of these doors?
Well, once
the one on the west is very much open now. There's no longer
That's,
a door.
that was going to be my next question.
yeah, it's open.
I still don't trust that he's not playing possum, so I'm going to make for this door, but I'm going to use these gaming tables here as cover as I make for it.
The make a quick wisdom and heal roll as you're moving by.
Hey, what roll? Heal roll?
Wisdom and heal.
Here. And
Okay. You managed to catch sight of like a leg sticking out from behind the half wall. They're very much in the throes of either like asphyxiation or trying to like deliver some sort of emergency medicine, like a Lazarus patch or something to themselves. You've seen people like writhing in pain and on the edge of death, and that's very much where they are.
next time you should duck faster.
You will not need to make stealth rolls anymore
Okay.
to be making your way through.
I just hope whoever's on the other side of that open hallway doesn't have a gun pointed at my chest.
No, you can see through Bite's vision that they're on the ground.
All right. If there's nothing you need to do with them, I'm going to go through the doorway.
Can I ask in the meantime what the other ship is doing?
It looks like they are. It looks like they are prepping another shuttle, but that's not an instant thing, and they're still gonna have to like land and. All of that. Sorry,
All
I'm
right.
having a hard time selecting circles.
Sometimes it can be a little finicky.
Booker's gonna. Bite, can you hail the captain one last time?
I can absolutely try. Sent out the hail.
Do you want me to do it while Bite's in the middle of... I don't know if Bite's doing anything right now. I mean, not... That came out wrong.
Don't know if Bite is actively rolling on anything. You got it.
Bite, make sure that Gerard grabs Swan and heads back towards the pod.
I'm hoping he will.
So, Gerard, I'm gonna. When you get into the area that's the kitchen and you're looking around, you can see that it looks like most of the tables and everything that would have been like part of the restaurant, they have been reconverted. They still have like, the wood desks at the top, but the areas underneath have all been filled with computer servers, most of which have been wired with explosives, which is what seems to be what the lights are indicative of.
Alrighty.
It seems to be like a color-based system. It starts with green and it's filling up a gauge towards red.
My limited knowledge, I'm assuming that means it's charging. Is this the individual seem to be looking for?
I believe so. Female, unconscious.
On the ground. The one
And
that you were communicating with.
I go to her. Is she conscious?
She is, but she's not responsive at the moment.
Probably shocked. Do the one arm over the shoulder lift? We need to get you out now.
Yeah, even Captain said that.
and start heading back to the pod. I imagine there's not much left of these three. Going by here, can I get a better view of the individual? Are they still struggling? Can I see what they're doing?
He seems to be stilling. He's, by this point, he's dying, but no longer has the oxygen to like fight and move limbs. It looks like part of the mask is open and was blown open by the explosion.
They asphyxiated. All right. By the time anyone gets here to rescue them, they'll be dead. We're heading for the pod.
They're headed back to the pod, Booker.
All right. Good. The second they're in there, make sure we're going to detach the winch and make sure we grab them back.
Logo says, I do not suggest detaching the winch.
What do you suggest then?
It says, with some maneuvering, I can use it as a weapon against the other ship.
We don't need to provoke them. We just need to get our people back.
We will not be able to outrun them in system.
I don't think we'll have to.
What if we send them a message letting them know that we're disengaging and leaving the ruin to them?
That's
Bite.
kind of what I was hoping we would do when we hailed them, but they're not picking up.
Well, so Bite, will they... sorry, out of character, do we know that this is a communication center, or was that not conveyed?
I believe that was conveyed, wasn't it?
So Maiko's gonna ask Bite, are they gonna be able to tell that it's a communication center like you were saying it is?
Technically, yes, if they still have it. But what I can do is when Gerard gets off, I can blow it to hell.
Well, let's just hope that they haven't docked by then.
Or if
Maybe
they have,
We could send them one single warning.
to be like it's full of explosives and it's going to
We're
explode.
detecting explosives on the ship. Yeah.
All right.
We don't even have
We
to
just-
say that we're exploding it. We just have to say that we've detected instability.
We did a scan of the ship and we see a large amount of explosives on it.
You have approximately 15 seconds to distance yourself from the ruin before it explodes.
Yeah.
Once we get our people off, we should send that message, and then we should
Yep.
blow it up. The Resistance can find each other again. They just need to not be caught, I think.
Right?
Yeah, Gerard.
Their computers down here are all set for self-destruct. They were charging up. I don't know how much time before they go off.
And this will be out loud. Get on the wench now. Doesn't matter.
I'm almost there.
And he'll look to Michael Booker. It's already in play. I don't really have to do anything.
Great, saves us a step.
I just don't know when.
We'll send them a message.
Yeah, you can still, by the way, transmit like a written text message even if they're not answering a hail.
Oh, that's what
So-
that's what we're going to do.
GM, can it be from the camera view inferred how much time the color-based thing is gonna take to get to full?
Yeah, definitely in the realm of under 2 minutes.
Okay, so Michael is going to totally put a giant timer on the screen that counts down movie style.
Okay.
I just gonna look over. I don't think that was needed. That just
Oh, it
adds a lot
was.
more stress.
We can get more stressed right now.
So
I should not
All
have
right.
said that out loud.
Booker is going. Okay, I've written up a message. How does this look?
Hey, bastard, it's gonna blow.
Love.
Love Proxima Icarus.
Gerard, make an exert roll for me.
Which attribute?
Constitution or Dex, your choice.
Same either way. We got a 9.
So you have ample motivation to haul ass. um, get into the to the area that the miner cleared open, and into the cargo container. The Swan's expressions are hard to read, but she looks a little bit like surprised, as if she was like 50-50 on whether or not you guys were actually there to kill her or not. But as it pulls away and she sees the station behind her, she kind of, she like leans forward a little bit on your shoulder. And you can see a pained expression across her face as the back end of the station lights up. Like whatever explosives they were using that blew open the bulkhead, it looks like that was what was used all through the restaurant to keep track of their servers and their information for the entire, resistance. And it is shrapnel in no time.
It's a loss, but it can be replaced. It can't be.
She says, I just hope nobody dies behind it. She kind of shakes herself. She says, thank you.
Our pleasure. I'm Gerard, by the way. How are you doing? You must be Swan.
This is Jamais. She says, and yes.
Good. I'd hate to think that we went through all that for somebody else. Excuse me, I need to sit down.
I'd like there just to be a little note that Booker handed to Gerard briefly. Just that says, our captain looks a little weird. Please don't freak out too much.
Or maybe
Because I look
just,
exactly the same as all the clones.
Or maybe just ask him, like, before he, like, rather than a note, just, like, ask Gerard to, like, prep Swan, like...
Sort of what I meant by the note, but yeah.
Not to...
Y'all are acting like I haven't done this before.
Booker is just thorough
I
sometimes.
just think it's bad to put a note that could be found on Gerard. Like, if
but you're
something
stealing
happens,
my
it's-
thunder.
Sorry.
There is there's some shrapnel that's like buried in the container that was used as the anchor. Nothing that went through it, but it's definitely not like airtight anymore. So there's some kind of quiet conservation of air on the way back as you're reeled in. The other ship hasn't yet reacted to the explosion, the message. They didn't have a shuttle ready to go in time to get within the blast range. And after a few minutes, as the line is like reeled back in, and the cargo container is like reconnected to the rest of the ship, without a word, it engines fire up and it turns and it begins flying towards the planet.
Okay, bye, jerks.
It's nice knowing you. Let's see if I get to shoot you planetside.
Oh. By the way, don't panic when you see our captain.
She raises an eyebrow.
He's a renegade clone.
She says their heads don't blow up.
I don't know about in general, but his is mostly intact.
She says, I don't know if that was true. It was just the last rumor I heard.
By the way, Maiko is totally headed down to like the bay or wherever they launched the winch from. And like as soon as it like comes to rest or whatever, she's on that thing like inspecting it and peeling the door open and is just like in full sugar high mode.
Booker has also arrived, but with Ade.
Okay.
The only other medical personnel we have on this ship.
Micah's
Bite.
totally just like, baby, you did such a good job, like to the little like pod.
Bite
Yeah.
will also be headed down, just behind everybody else.
Bite,
He wants to check on Gerard, if anything.
Bite. Can you have Eddie meet us when we get there, please? With a medical kit.
Yep. What's in a medical kit?
Audie's like, I'm bringing gurneys.
All right. Ade's got it.
The gurneys that come from the new med lab are they have like basically full med kits like built into them, so that somebody can be working on them as they're in transition. And when Ade, sees Gerard, she's like, I bet you thought you were going to be the first one to use the surgical center.
Well, you're half right.
I mean, he did though, didn't he?
Jemay,
I mean, what the hell are these then? Like, he just like pulls up his shirt.
Jemay looks between Maiko, who is, like waist sized, and Ade, who is a tween, and kind of like looks to Gerard and is like, how many children serve on this ship?
Just the one.
None?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
do you count?
none?
Bite has a. Not really anymore. 19.
I don't think bite counts. I feel like when you start asking people like, what counts as a child in response to that?
Maiko is an alien species.
No offense intended.
Mako
And
didn't hear.
Ade is my head nurse.
Yeah, and Jemay pulls off, face mask, visor, like definitely like could have been billboard model, levels of attractive and charismatic.
I'm out of your head, Bite.
Bite doesn't mind it, honestly. He's like, okay, this is a thing now.
It's just like, it's like super texting.
It's easier than text.
And Jemay kind of, nods to everyone, starts to obey as like Ade is pointing to the gurneys for both Gerard and her. It's like,
Maiko's
Thank
already
you
got
very
like a
much.
quarter of the pod, like broken down to go back into fabrication for something else.
Ade, prep for scans, CT scan, full mag scan. I suffered some feedback.
And she's like, and I will when you lay back.
Yes, doctor.
It's funny not being on that side of it.
All right, so what are you guys doing in the immediate wake? Are you heading back to the refueling station? Or are you just kind of floating?
Do we have
We should.
do we have permits to trade with the planet or whatever? Like, can we approach the planet now?
Yeah, that was part of the deal that was made.
That would be my suggestion, would be to get what's her face to perhaps the planet, or see if we can get her somewhere safe to stash her.
That was the plan, was to get her planet side. By the way, we're getting you planet side.
The plan
Oh.
is planet side.
She says, what does the resistance owe to you for the help?
A favor.
Right now we have it on firm handshake and a high five, but we'll come up with something.
That's a lot of trust for a business partner you've never met.
Yeah, well, I really hate Stellar Bespoke Synergies, so.
So this is an enemy of my enemy thing. Just as that actually makes a lot of sense.
Bite will just send a message hiding from over in the corner because, Bite does not do new people, to Booker and being like, rebellions help each other.
That and rebellions help each other.
I'm just picturing him reading off of his data slab, like, rebellions help each other.
Message of the day.
Today's word of the day is an odd alien word from the planet Gazorpazor.
She says, who is it that you're rebelling against?
Yeah, Bite.
Hey, Lord. Oh, I don't remember anymore, not off the top of my head. Oops. DM.
You don't get to use that experience. Oh, wait, that's not. Sorry,
I mean,
I thought it was in character.
Your rebellion was a bit more the mandate.
Oh, okay.
But that's probably going to sound most odd to most people.
No, Bite would just put in the mandate.
Okay. Our rebellion is against the entire system as a whole. We're trying to stop a universe-level destroying threat. At least for this section of the universe.
That
It's the
works.
AI thing.
She says, all right. She says, let's say, she says, I put forward, she says, the idea that we expand our working relationship. We help you with your problems. She says, if you help us get rid of a nuisance on our planet.
I believe part of that was the plan. And we're glad to be on a similar page.
She says, we know why the SBS is here. She says, what specifically they're interested in. It's not our local cuisine. She says, or our markets. This is halfway across the sector from them.
What
She says, I didn't hear what you asked, Micah.
I was about to ask, what are they? What is it?
She says, our planet had an unusual degree of ecological diversity before SBS ever showed up. Most planets that have been terraformed have between 5 and 8% of the species that existed on old Earth. She says, ours has 97. She says, that's not a coincidence. She says, the mandate built something here that they called the Codex. She says it was some sort of gene library. Says it had animals and she says plants, wildlife. She says everything that you could imagine. She says all stored within it. She says and also protected by mandate area security protocols. The SBS has been trying to crack it open for a while.
So that means it's pre-tech, right?
Yeah, it is going to be pre-tech.
Well,
Noah's Ark.
What do they
guess
want
it's lucky
that
that we have
for?
one of the only people that can crack pre-tech.
Because, Michael, it's things that have been lost to us as a species for a very long time. Now,
It's
I'm only
from-
can imagine as a corporation, they only see the dollar signs involved in it.
Maiko, this is from my time.
So, I don't see why they should be kept out.
Because they don't want it to share it with the rest of humankind. They want it to dissect it piece by piece and sell it at the highest profit possible.
Or on my planet, there was something called a zoo. Effectively, people would pay money to see rare animals, rare plants. And it can make you quite a bit of money.
Jimmy kind of raises her hand. She says, those are great. She says secondary sources of revenue. She says, but, and she points to Booker. She says, he's the real reason.
It's the weapons market. It's always the weapons market.
The more genes they have access to, the more they can do to clones like him. Adaptive camouflage,
Who said I was a clone?
regeneration. She like raises an eyebrow and shoots you like a really look.
No, I'm not a clone.
She says, I've met, she says, 1,100 of your brothers.
Yeah, no, I'm
I think he's the
the original.
And they
She
say
says-
they totally say the original in unison. Like, I know we
She
did
says-
it, but
You're 800 KR.
That would be me. Friends called me Booker.
She says, you're dead.
Well, reports of my
no, it's good.
existence
No,
have been
stay
greatly
dead.
exaggerated.
You're
Stay dead.
dead.
We're going to be working together. Secrets
I-
don't help.
I know, but
She says, honestly, something like that, she says, SBS would be paying a fortune to suppress.
that he was alive.
Yes. She says the PR is all about 800 KR, she says, sacrificing him nobly on behalf of SBS. She says he's part of their propaganda routines. He's how the
I did
new
what?
clones get brainwashed.
Oh.
That's actually good to know.
That is good to know. That is good to know, but our friend is
That's-
safer if he's.
Listen, my genetically similar sapiens. That's a load of bullshit.
Yeah, it is kind of funny actually. Now that you mention it.
This is great.
Anyway, we're getting distracted. We're getting sidetracked. We're getting distracted. And
I just had a really bad idea.
Bite has a lot of really bad ideas.
But like this is the like worst of all.
This is the worst one so far.
Boomer was also very fun. 800 MR. He's a crazy dude. He died. In the way that we all expected him to. Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Your base snorts.
I'm kidding. He died in an explosion. Of course he died in an explosion. His name was Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
So what if we just put out another video?
They can put out a lot of videos.
But if we have the original,
That doesn't
could-
do a lot to be able to verify anything.
It's hard to prove on a video.
And also, it's safer if you're dead.
It is better that they continue to think that he is dead.
I realize that you
knowing-
want to like take on the whole entire system right now, but please, could you not?
No, I just want to take on this small bit of the system. Everything else
but
is...
like they have a whole big system that's behind this system, and like there's like a whole chain of things. And
I understand.
I know you
I'm being
understand,
more
which is
specific
why
about
I
what
don't
I am.
understand like why you're being so obtuse. You have to stay dead because that's how you stay safe. And for crying out loud, will you please?
I didn't know I was dead.
But
and
you
also,
are now. I mean, you're not dead, but you.
we will operate under the assumption that I am dead with everyone else. But currently, when we did not know that I was dead, it was not that much of an issue to reveal the fact I was still alive to someone who didn't know I was completely. When we ourselves didn't know I was supposed to be dead.
Captain, if I may,
Yes.
still have a guest.
Jermaine kind of looks like you recognize exactly what she was doing. She was keeping quiet, absorbing information.
Hence my interruption.
Yeah, good call.
Anyway,
She says, what can we do now? She says, do you want me to walk you through how the system is taken over? She says, the governor here is one of SBS's biggest geneticists. And I think that he took over the system mostly as a way to get access to the Codex. I'm not even sure how much of an official blessing he has from SBS. I mean, they're not going to turn down a branch office, but my impression of things is that he went crazy on the clone making to take everything over because that was the option that he had.
what if we just grab him and drop him in that other planet that has the plague?
No.
See why not?
It was a
Sorry,
suggestion.
what's her name again?
Jemay.
Jamae.
Jamae, do you know how he was able to overcome the genetic degradation?
I don't. She says, I know that most of the clones, she says, live for a few years. She says they have shorter lifespans, but they learn relatively quickly.
Understood. Well, if we're going to take over your planet, let me rephrase. If we are going to liberate your planet from the people who are currently trying to take it over, we will sit down and have a much longer discussion about what we're going to need to do to properly rebel and overthrow and protect the Codex. But what I would like you to think about is a list of targets. I just need a list of names. We need to know where the Codex information is and where the pre-tech software will be.
Says I know exactly where the codex is. That's part of the reason I was at the ruin. Says he was able to get information from multiple telemetry satellites without much notice. She says our planet is relatively cold. She says, but there is one valley that's running almost 30 degrees hotter than the rest of the planet. Says that kind of limited terraforming, she says, isolated to one small area is only accomplishable with pre-tac.
All right. Then I guess we're going to be heading to the valley. And that list of names, I would like you to work on that. The more heads we can cut off this snake, the better.
She says most of this planet, she says SBS paid a fortune to, she says, 3/4 of the nobility hold an election, she says, to change governments. That election was accomplished fraudulently. And then enforced with military force. There were a number of nobles that profited a great deal, but at this point, the people themselves are practically ready to take up arms. She says they need the right motivation, the right incentive. She says, I'd far rather, she says, those people who sold out their vassals, she says, that they go on trial.
All right. We're moving out of my comfort zone.
Into mine.
It's good.
I am curious though, how did they figure out where you were operating out of? Because that was a kill team sent after you, not a scavenger team.
She says, my operation, she says, gave away. She says that it was operating orbitally. After that, it was a matter of elimination. I think they sent teams to every single research station and moon base in the system. She says, I was just operating out of a derelict that they didn't realize could still support life.
How did they figure out that you were operating orbitally?
She says, satellites, telemetry.
Same way she found out where the warm zone is. It's only a matter of time before a signal can be triangulated.
Pretty easily.
I expected them sooner, honestly.
Let's hope that the industrial accident that they just suffered leads them to believe that you have gone the way as Booker.
That would be my hope as well.
How much
Right.
propaganda have they been putting out about your resistance?
All sorts, she says, but the governor is not exactly a soft touch when it comes to propaganda, she says, and I think most of what he's put out has saturated to the point where everybody's suspicious of everything coming out of Blomkamp's office.
Good, that works in our favor.
The governor, is he also nobility?
He's SBS. He's the geneticist.
Yeah.
Booker, you actually recognize that name? The Blomkamp name?
Okay. That one's mine.
Yours in what fashion?
Let's just say I don't like to indulge in vendettas, but I might make an exception.
I mean, I assumed it wasn't that, like, they were yours forever and ever, and there's, like, sunshine and rainbows and birds tweeting, and, like,
I guess
assumed
they're
it
mine
was-
forever. I mean, it's immediate, just one quick shot, and then
I
just
still
need
advise
3
caution.
kilometers.
Still advise caution, Captain. As they
Noted.
say, nature abhors a vacuum, and the sudden death of leadership creates chaos.
Oh, I don't plan to do it while he's still the leader.
Do you want to set up new elections? And then she looks over at Swan. You
It
want to set up new elections.
She says, I'd like the actual results of the elections to be enforced.
And what are the actual results of the election?
Oh, shit. She says, the proof was in my servers.
Hmm.
She says, so it looks like new elections will need to happen. She says, I was hoping they could avoid some bloodshed.
Darn the luck.
by chance, did you get any information off those servers before they turned into stardust?
She says, I've backed up most of them, she says, with some of her other camps. She says, pieces here and there.
I
She
can
says, could potentially be recovered.
see what I can do.
Any little bit that you can add to the information they have?
She says, my concern, she says, you're clearly really good at what you do, looking to bite. She says, but most of our networks are designed to destroy if they realize that they've been penetrated.
So I just gotta get better at getting in without being noticed.
She says, I can also make contact, she says, and once we're certain that they don't know that I'm aboard the ship, she says, if we can put some distance between us, then I should be able to contact them, she says, and start getting connection access without the need to hack through their systems. She says, it's just going to take some time.
I think the next thing we need to worry about, Captain, is how to get Swan here back to her people. I have a feeling that eyes are going to be on us for a little while. Do you have any form of contact we can reach out to on the surface?
I have a lot of contacts at the surface.
Good. You're going to need to start pulling on them.
What specifically do you need?
Someplace to get you that is safe. And someplace that, if we're going to be helping with this, we can also hole up and let our ship leave system while we handle this. It's going to be better, Captain, if the ship is out of system when this goes down.
I agree.
Logos will interrupt, but not audibly. He just has a message up here on Mike's datapad that says the proxy maker is not capable of landing on planet.
We can't land on planet.
We have a shuttle to take us to the planet.
But Logos is saying we can't land the ship, so it's gonna have to stay either.
We're
orbit.
hoping to put it outside the system anyways.
Does that work, Logos?
Yeah, Logos will take note of that if sorry, 1 second. Asks about the Ruza station that's in orbit, if there are any contacts aboard. As that's one of the orbital stations, and so they could be at a distance. And it wouldn't attract attention to them just, floating over the planet.
I suggest you and Logos get together and arrange a specific subsonic communication when we're ready to return.
Yeah, I'm also gonna make sure that Atlas knows, and that were.
Subsonic? It's not what I meant to say, but I'm sure you understand.
I get it. A way to communicate with the ship without being noticed.
Or if it is noticed, it may be dismissed as background noise.
Something easy.
Logos also to bite and say, request the coordinates for the hot zone.
And Pite being the anxious human that he is, Miss, Miss Swan,
Jermaine, please.
Mr. Mays, yes, could I get the, coordinates for the, looks back down at data pad, for this and just shows data pad. You said they were
Jermaine,
really pretty, right?
very much so.
Yeah, he immediately gets tongue-tied. He can't talk.
And Jermaine seems to like recognize it, like kind of with the grace of somebody who's no stranger to the reaction. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And reaches out and kind of squeezes Bite's arm, and says, "You certainly may, but I need a promise from your captain that when you go to this site, that I can go with
Looks to Booker.
you."
That seems an appropriate exchange.
I will
She
tell
says,
you.
"Deal that," and holds out a hand towards Booker.
Miss Germaise, I know pre-tech much better than everybody else.
That's
So I'm
useful
just going to
thing know.
request that you stay out of my way.
She says, "Trust me, where Pre-Tech's concerned, I really try to avoid even touching it."
I know it.
We have a deal, Jermaine. And do you have an honorific that I should be going by as well?
It used to be governor. For now, just Jermaine will do.
Then we will go by Jermaine.
She says, and one more request. She says, "I don't think I've had a shower in 4 months."
After you're
She's
done
over
with
here by the med bay.
That's what I was. Yeah. After you and Gerard are done with your reconstructive surgeries,
Audio like CT first, then shower.
we have showers available in the area. And we'll find you a nice area to make yourself at home.
Once,
So I think we can go ahead, Michael.
No,
Sorry.
we can't do it yet. Once they're wheeled off to medbay or whatever, Maiko turns to Booker and is like, "We are helping a deposed governor get her power back. I hope you realize that.
I do.
You're trusting her because you don't like her enemy, which is fine. I get that. And you," she looks at Bite, "you're trusting her because she's pretty. And because you have memories of a rebellion of your own. And I get that. And those are good things. But I hope you both realize that she's not some damsel. Like, she's not someone that you can just ascribe whatever motivations you think are noble to her."
No, she's a warrior, and she's one that will look out for her and her people's best interests.
We don't know if she even has people other than people that she has propagandized just as much as this other company has. I'm just saying, like,
I
just be careful.
know that we can't trust her. Remember, I was in my own rebellion.
I know, but as soon as we came into the system, you basically ran toward her. So,
I ran to help because I know what it's like. And I didn't help when I was on Earth and Now Earth is gone. Do we want the same thing for this planet?
I'm not invested in this planet, and I'm just worried about people that I have come to care about a lot.
I am too.
Just
Bite's
be
gonna
careful.
get on Maiko's level. I'm promising you this. If she looks like she's gonna hurt any of the crew, that means the Okar, the miners, any of them. I've seen her hacking style. I can beat it. I can make sure that we turn everything against her.
It's not that I think that she's going to turn on us or anything. I just think that she won't have a problem throwing us in the way if she needs to run. And that's just what I want you to look out for. You get me?
Yeah, I get you.
I don't want to be a distraction in her game.
Nope, that's why I was going to ask Booker if you can teach me how to shoot.
What?
I was waiting for someone to ask me that.
That sounds like a curtain drop to me.
That actually is a pretty good point. So,
Maiko didn't laugh, just for the record. Maiko was like, what?
No, because Bite has a plan, unfortunately. Like, yeah, no.
Oh, that's
He's
not
not the
good
only
for
one who doesn't
anybody.
trust. Does not trust us.
Your aim is shit.
Hey.
all right. So,
It's going to be
I'd
the
like
first thing. That's going to be the first. That is going to be the first and most heard thing you're going to be hearing when you're going through those practices.
All right, so
Okay.
what I would like to do is give everybody a chance again to go around and let people know where they can be found, what they are up to, and we'll start with Sarah. We'll just go across.
As I'm cutting. Copy and pasting it. Yay. Okay. So, yep. Hi, I'm over at...
That's the wrong thing. Whoops. Delete it.
That's the wrong...
Well, if you want to message us, please feel free to message us there. But I want. Nope, that's the wrong
No,
thing.
that's the email.
Nope, unpin. I am very bad at this.
Oh, here's the link. Here's where you can find me. I'm working with Scarred. I'm bravely broken. You can find me over at Tangor Productions. I'm here like 4 times a week. So, yeah.
I don't think I can delete that because you're another mod.
Yeah, I can't delete it either. How do? Oh, this is bad.
I want you guys to take that email address and I want you to put it in every single mailing list that you can find. Like political mailing list, go to Macy's,
Please,
friggin'
y'all.
everywhere.
Don't. This is like our actual like business email.
If you find a link to donate to Greg Abbott,
I've selected the message. I don't know what I can do to get rid of it.
the only options I have are reply or pin.
Yeah, that's all I get for most
I
of
can
these.
pin it.
Let's maybe not pin it.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't.
I already did by accident.
Kevin, delete that if you would, please.
Even here.
Maybe go to like Ron DeSantis's campaign.
Yeah, and make sure to leave a flaming pile of. I'm not going to finish that
Yeah,
sentence
no.
because it turns very,
Please.
very ugly very fast.
GM, move on.
Moving
Scarred
on.
and I.
All right, let's go to
Obviously not able
do-
to do this.
I'm not sorry.
let's go to Booker.
Oh.
Start.
Cool. Well, I'm working on the scarredadventure.com. I'm not working on that anymore. Why did I say that?
Because you said it for like years.
I've been saying it for quite a while, yeah. No, please be sure to check us out on Bravely Broken. You can find the links where Sarah put them, or where I have managed to put this proper one, which is just our Instagram I put down again. where you will be able to see our avocad. He's an avocado, and he's Canadian, and he's a cad. So you see, I am very funny at making up names.
The Madvocado.
It can also be a Gladvocado.
And Glory.
Takes moments. Yes. Yeah. No. Please be sure to check us out there, and especially once we actually start having stuff that you can check out.
Which will be actually pretty soon.
Otherwise, you'll be able to
Kind
find me here as well on Thursdays, playing Hati with all these wonderful, two of these wonderful people.
Some of these people.
I'm talking too much to try and gloss over the massive mistake I made a few minutes ago.
I'm sure it's working wonderfully.
So,
All right, so Glory.
yes, I am here tomorrow night playing Buffy. I am here Wednesday nights playing Sudden Heroes. I am here next Sunday. Sometimes I stream on my own channel, Blaze of Gloriosa, but really not. I'm just here all the time. Speaking of which, are you a Twitch producer? Would you like to be? Because we have several, but we could always use more. So please join our Discord if you would like to help us produce, because we could use help in that department and like everything. Like, we could use all the help we could get, frankly. Kidding. I love this place. I love these people. This is the best. Hey, Shadow, what
Shadow?
are you up to?
I don't know, but you broke Sarah again.
I do. God.
Hi, I'm Shadow, also known as the True Shadowmancer. You can find me on my Discord channel, which is the Desperate Dice Rollers, and one of these days I'm gonna get this link in here for you guys to put in. Otherwise, you can also find me on the Dirty 20 Discord. I'm here Tuesday nights during the last hurrah of what's his name? I keep forgetting it because we're going to kill him.
Honest John.
John.
Racco.
Honest John.
As Lester Moore. Our Thursday nights, I am here as Woodja for Deviant Futures. So yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do hit that bell because you never know when we're uploading. And come on over and see us. We talking to folks.
We like new people.
Took the words out of my mouth as far as the
We like old
YouTube,
people
so-
too.
We generally
Not
like each
old
other.
age. I just mean people that have been there for a while as well.
We get along
Shut up.
pretty well.
Jacob.
This is the most foot in mouth of closings ever.
That's
Get your
fun.
athlete's tongue.
All right,
Goodbye, everybody.
Athlete's
everyone,
tongue.
please be
Lovely.
nice to one another, and we will see you next week.